Well, I choose to feel good about my life today. Look beyond appearances and paint it my way. Connect down deep with spirit inside. Rejuvenate my energy and let God guide. I'm a light to inspire, a real live wire. That's alright with me. I got love in my heart. I got a whole lot of soul. I got joy in my life, from my head to my toes. I got my light shining bright. That's alright with me. Well, it's time for some random acts of kindness out there. Surprise them with thanks and show them I care. A big old smile upon my face, a bounce in my step, yes, a positive pace. I stand with poise, I make a joyful noise. That's alright with me. I got love in my heart. I got a whole lot of soul. I got joy in my life, from my head to my toes. I got my light shining bright. That's alright with me. Well, I choose to feel good about my life today. Look beyond appearances and paint it my way. Connect down deep with spirit inside. Rejuvenate my energy and let God guide. I'm a light to inspire, a real live wire. That's alright with me. I got love in my heart. I got a whole lot of soul. I got joy in my life, from my head to my toes. I got my light shining bright. That's alright with me. I got my light shining bright. That's alright with me. Well, I'm so glad you sung along with me. I guess I've probably done that one before, huh? The song was written by a friend of mine who's the spiritual director at CSL Nashville. Franklin, Tennessee. Her name's Donna Michael. So let's go over the words. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world. And I shine. So bright. Here we go. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world. Shine and I shine and I shine so bright, and I shine and I shine and I shine so bright. Ooh, I should get my sunglasses. You guys are shining. We are the love. We are the love. We are the love. We are the love in this world. We are the love, yes, we are the love. We are the love in this world, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. So Donna didn't write this verse, but she'll be okay with it. I am the change. I am the change. I am the change. I am the change in this world. I am the change. I am the change. I am the change in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. So this verse is just for you. So maybe put your hand on your heart if it helps. I am the love. I am the love. I am the love. I am the love in this world. I am the love. I am the love. I am the love in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright.
That was very beautiful. Thank you. So I want to let you know who's here. We have Robert Anderson doing our music. And we have Opal James that's going to be doing our prayer. And if you would like to pray with the chaplain afterwards, Opal's helping in the kitchen downstairs. Actually, Opal runs the kitchen downstairs. And Donna Lynn said she would be happy to pray with you after service, or you can write a prayer request and put it in the prayer box in the back. And then we have Ken, who runs everything. He is the order of the service. I'm Lori Smith. I'm the spiritual leader here, and I just want to welcome all of you. We so appreciate that you're here. It just makes this room light up. I agree with this song. Makes the room light up. So thank you. So we're going to say, our statement of faith. Please join me. There is only one power and one presence in the universe and in my life. God, the good, omnipotent.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Surely the presence of God is indeed in this place. I am loved, the divine essence within. In the realms of soul, I softly rise, an ethereal essence, a boundless prize, a sacred presence, a cosmic art. I am the whisper that ignites the heart. Look beyond the stars where mystics roam. In the depths of silence where we find ourselves, I find my home. Unseen yet felt in every sphere, in unity I conquer fear. For fear is just misplaced faith, but in the gentle breeze that softly weaves in and out throughout our day, in symphony of rustling leaves, I am the force that binds all things, the dance of life, the songs that sing. I am the dawn that breaks the night, the beacon of hope, the guiding light. In the darkest hours where shadows loom, I dispel the darkness and my soul resumes. In every smile that I meet, in and out and throughout my day, I find my trace, a timeless love, a warm embrace that wraps its arms around me. In every tear, I offer solace to loved ones, friends, people I do not know, near and far. A healing touch, a tender chalice. When hearts entwine and passions flow, in secret unions my essence glow. I am the unions of souls in flight, a sacred bond, two spirits unite. So seek me not in distant skies, for within you my essence lies. Just listen to your small voice, and you too will find your essence. Embrace the truth, for the truth will set you free, and in your heart you will find me, waiting and welcoming you back home. In every act of kindness shown, in every prayer, in every zone, in every gesture that transcends, I am the love that never ends. So through joy and pain, I remain the same. I'm always there for you, the divine presence, the divine love, that sacred flame. For in the tapestry of existence, above all, in every atom, I am loved. Amen.
Amen. Well, as you just heard, we are a lot of things. But I kind of rolled it all into one thing. We are love, that's what we are. Each of us a shining star. Streams of wonder come so far. We are love. We are love, love, love. We are love. We go back so long ago, past 10,000 seasons. Time expanding all we know on our road to reason. Finding courage, saving grace, beauty in this place. We are love, that's what we are. Each of us a shining star. Streams of wonder come so far. We are love. We are love, love, love. We are love. We are the stars, we give our light. This path we climb goes highest, and when it's dark deep in the night, it's then we shine our brightest. We are love, that's what we are. Each of us a shining star. Feels like sunlight touching hearts. We are love. We are love, love, love. We are love, 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 love. We are love.
And so we have a treat for you today. We have a guest speaker, Reverend Rachel Harrison, and I want to read all of the things that she does. She's amazing. She is a metaphysical minister, a spiritual coach, and host of the Recover Your Soul podcast. She was raised by hippie parents in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and her spiritual background is rooted in Buddhism, as her parents were among the early followers of Tibetan Buddhism in the United States. Reverend Rachel and her husband found their spiritual home in Unity nearly 25 years ago, where she and her family have been deeply influenced by its teachings. In addition to her online work, Reverend Rachel regularly speaks at Unity and New Thought centers in the Denver metro area. So we are so lucky to have her here today, and I'll just have you come on up and give us your talk and meditation, and we're going to have a beautiful morning.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
It's fun to see some familiar faces here today. My name is Rachel Ann Little Flower Ferris Harrison. I really am a hippie child. My parents met in Oklahoma, in a very conservative environment of Oklahoma, and my mom often says she doesn't know how a nice girl from Oklahoma turned into a Buddhist, but she did. And they met in Oklahoma, and then they went to St. Louis. They were really guided to go to St. Louis and started the beatnik era, and then they were led to go to New Mexico, where there was this promise of the land of milk and honey, and where you could be free, and it was the beginning of the hippie era. And then in 1970 I was born, and named me Little Flower. So I love that I have this great hippie name. And then my mom discovered Buddhism. I was an infant, and somebody came and said, there's this Buddhist teacher coming. Are you interested in coming? And she said, of course I am. And so she went along with it and immediately was drawn. And so if you think of lifetimes and souls and what feels right to you, you always know when something resonates with you. And so it is this interesting piece. How did this nice girl from Oklahoma become a Tibetan Buddhist? But is in the moment she heard those teachings, she knew it was right. And so I was raised in this Buddhist environment with this hippie parents. My dad's a singer-songwriter and silversmith, and it was a really interesting upbringing. So you would think I'd be good, right? No, none of us are good like that. We all have to go through life. I actually have a story, which is that I've discovered Ram Dass. Has anybody listened to Ram Dass? I love Ram Dass. I feel like he's my spiritual grandfather. And I was telling my dad how much I love Ram Dass, and he said, oh, he carried you around when you were a little baby. I said, he did? Ram Dass carried me around. So when he lived in New Mexico, on and off at the time, and so there was a particular time where they were in a store or something. He said, oh, what a beautiful little girl, and carried me around for about 45 minutes. And then they said, well, it's time to go. And he said, okay, thank you for that gift. And I love that I actually had physical contact with him as a soul, because I really am, there's something about the way that his teachings have worked with me. So I was raised Buddhist, and I had a pretty profound experience when I was 7, where my mom went to India for 3 months in 1977, 78, to go with her Buddhist teacher who was in India. And so I spent a month with my dad finishing school, and then I spent a month with my dad's mother, and I spent another month with my mother's mother. And my dad's mother is a fundamentalist Christian. So I didn't know anything about Christianity because I was raised Buddhist, right? So I didn't know anything except for the fact that I was raised in Santa Fe, where there's a lot of Catholic stuff. And I show up at my grandmother's door by myself on the airplane, back when at 7, you could fly by yourself on the airplane. Tattered. I'd just been with my dad for a month. Can you imagine? My hair must have been scraggly, and I had these red prayer cords that are the prayer cords that they give in Buddhism. But I was tattered, and it was all, I'm sure I was a wreck. And my grandmother received me, and she was immediately worried for me. And she started talking to me about how I was being raised wrong, that I was going to go to hell, that my parents weren't giving me the true teachings of Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And for a month, She cut off my prayer cords, she cleaned me up, and she indoctrinated me and tried to give me all of her teachings. And by the end of it, I went at the front of a congregation and gave myself over to Jesus as she had instructed, because I was a good little girl. But the whole time it didn't feel right to me. The whole time I was saying, this doesn't feel like love to me, this feels like fear to me. And even as a little girl, I could feel that there was something in that I didn't like how that felt. I was so used to the Buddhist monks where you sat in their robes and the prayer beads through their fingers and the smell of incense and sandalwood and the resonance of the chanting. That felt like love to me. I had a lot of resentment to my grandmother for a long time because I felt like that was forced upon me. So I rejected Christianity, and anything that said God, I didn't like it. Until I met my husband at 22 years old, Mr. Richard Harrison. He was going to Faith Bible Chapel here in Denver. He was a Bible thumper. He had a group of people that he met with and did Bible study together, but man, was he cute, right? He was like adorable. And he was the first person who I ever met who was a Christian at that time, who was curious about my Buddhism, who didn't say that I needed to be something else. And he really wanted more information about what it was. And I went with him to his church, and I didn't particularly care for the message, but the music brought me to tears. I remember feeling love in that music. The worship music spoke to me in a way that was really profound. So we were madly in love with each other. We kind of set aside our religious stuff because, that's what you do when you're 22 and 25. You just get completely immersed in the relationship. And then we're going to get married, and we were going to get married up at Red Feather at Gold Lake Ranch up above Ward on the Peak to Peak Highway. And we're driving up to go look at this location, and he says, well, I want to have spirituality or something in our ceremony. So what do you believe? If you're not Christian and you're not really Buddhist, what do you believe? And I told him what I believed, that we are all one, that we are love, that we're supported and loved by the universe, that spirit's within all of us, that it's not on the outside, it's on the inside. And he said, Rachel, that's so cool, but you can't just make up your own stuff. You got to be, what religion is that? And I said, I don't know, but that's what I think. And when we had our first son, it became really clear that we wanted to find a spiritual center, and we started church shopping. And we went to some little congregations that were traditional churches, and they would all say, he would say to them, my wife is Buddhist, and they'd say, great, we can fix that. And he would say, my wife doesn't need fixing. I just want you to know where she's coming from. And it wasn't until we found Unity 28 years ago is where we really found our spiritual home. And we went to Columbine Spiritual Center for, most of those years, which is amazing. So I sang in the choir, I was on the board, I eventually worked there for a couple years, about 3 years ago. So I was deeply immersed in Unity. And yet, there's life, because life is life. My mom just had her hip replaced on Wednesday. She's doing great, and I've been staying with her at her house. She lives about 5 minutes from me. And being Buddhist, and now my being a metaphysical minister, we have a lot of really profound conversations. It's pretty much all we talk about is spirituality. And we were having this conversation just a couple mornings ago about if we are all divine beings, if the truth is that we're Buddha nature, we're the essence, there is one power and one presence in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. This is the first unity principle. If this is the essence of who we are, the second unity principle is that we are that essence. We are good. Why do we have to go through such difficulty? Why do we go through pain? I mean, my mom and I have this conversation again and again and again. She really is like, why can't we just be enlightened? And I keep saying, because if we were, we would miss the grist, the sandpaper. We wouldn't have the feelings, the experiences that really deepen our soul's experience. But we're looking through the eyes so often of wanting it to be different. which is one of the tenets of Buddhism. That life is suffering, life is complicated, and that the suffering comes from our grasping, our clinging to wanting it to be different. Now, growing up Buddhist, I heard these tenets, life is suffering. Oh, that's right, I didn't hear the other 3 tenets when I was growing up. I only remember the first one. So only having that first one, I leaned into the life is hard. I was also really rewarded for being a good girl and being able to fix things. Anybody else a codependent? Total codependent. I learned that there was reward in trying to not have it be suffering for somebody else. I worked really hard to try to make it be really good for my single mom and to be a really good little girl for her. And then I got married and I worked really hard to try to be the best wife and make everything as easy as I could for my husband. And then I had 2 kids, and then I worked really hard to try to save and keep those kids from any harm or hardship. And in the midst of that, there was addiction. My husband's an alcoholic. I became an alcoholic. My kids are addicts. We all have some part of us that is constantly trying to be in the world that is really complex because we don't want it to be complicated. But what if we're here on purpose with the complexity of life? And that is what actually is going to lead us to remember the wholeness and the Buddha nature and the goodness and the truth of who we are. What if we quit resisting it? So when I look now at my life, and sometimes right now I'm writing a book that is a memoir, and it's the soul recovery process, as I call it, that has truly transformed and healed my life in the last 7 years since I finally gave up drinking, but I mostly finally gave up trying to control everything around me. That's where the healing came. And as I'm reflecting on this memoir, the thing that's so interesting about it is when you make a paradigm shift and you begin to see through the eyes of love in every action that you take, it erases a lot of the pain and continual storyline that we've told ourselves from the past that is really surrounded around fear and hurt. And it's been hard, actually, to go and try to gather up all of this old experience because it's shifted. Because seeing through the eyes of love does not mean that you approve of everything that's going on around you. It means you're seeing it through the eyes of love. And what I find in Unity spiritual centers is y'all have been doing this for a minute, right? You're not here. I'm not telling you anything that you do not know already. We come to spiritual centers to remind ourselves, to remember, and to give ourselves a validation for what we already know. Because we're here in this space and we feel and know the eyes of love. We understand the Christ consciousness is within us. That's the beauty of what Charles and Myrtle shared and taught that was new 100 years ago. That God was not outside, that we were not sinners, that we were not born faulted, but that we were born in wholeness, that we were born in truth, that we were born in love, that Christ's nature is within each of us. That was not what people were teaching. It was not what people were teaching. They didn't think they were starting a religion. They were started because they knew that they wanted to see through the eyes of love. They were feeling that. And as they shared that with others, it grew. And so this concept of us coming into these spaces is because when you step out into the world, there's some stuff going on that's not great. When we're in your own heart, in your own mind, in this center, in your own home, it is a lot easier to be in a space where you feel oneness, you feel connection, you feel hope, you have faith. Turn on the television for 1 minute. It is tough. the experience that I had in truly revolutionizing how I showed up in my life for my family. I always get so, ooh. Has given me the ability to look with the eyes of love at everyone. And it's not easy. I recently got an electric vehicle, a little Leaf. They were giving them away. The leases were so cheap. And I posted something online about it. And my aunt, who is still from Oklahoma, sent me a direct message that was really hurtful. You Democrats, you this, you, how dare you? And I was like, wow, I didn't say anything other than I bought an electric car. And my desire to protect myself flared. This is my aunt. Not someone I'm, really connected to, but somebody that I love. And I'm so outside of watching the news and paying attention to any of those things because I'm powerless over all of those things. I'm working real hard to be powerless over my own family and to love them and to not be in control and not judge. So much of the spiritual teachings are around letting go of judgment. And judgment is a protection that we have for ourselves, and of course we do, but when we judge either right or wrong, we're outside of our own heart-centered spiritual practice. And we're in a space where we want you to be someplace else. Guess what we're doing? We're suffering. We're in the space of suffering because we want it to be different. So I sat with this feeling of what was going on in this conversation, and it was a direct message through Facebook, so she's not even texting me or, it was very it's so easy from the outside to send those messages, we all are shouting into the void now, this anger and upset. And I was so grateful that I have this ability now to witness, and I think that's the beauty of our spiritual life, right? You all are in this space where you can feel the feeling, and then you can witness what's going on instead of being in it. And I felt this enormous amount of compassion for my aunt, that this was her reaction. And I sent some sort of message that said, family is important. I love you. I hope we can leave politics out of our relationship. And she sent a message back and said, have you said that to your mother and your husband? And I was like, they are voicing some things. I'm not voicing those things. And I said, I'm going to take a step back and really think about this conversation. I wanted to get in, but the eyes and heart of love mean get out. Get out. Because the more that I try to engage with somebody of whom there is not going to be a resolution, the more I'm actually in attack, and attack is fear. And I want to see through the eyes of love, which means I'm powerless over what is going on with her. And if I try to get her to see my side, I'm judging. And I don't want to judge. I want to be in love. And the work that I had to do was to not have resentment in my own heart. That's the work I have to do. Because what I wanted to cut them off. That's it. How dare you judge me? I went underneath and I really looked what was feeling for me, and I realized what was feeling for me is I felt judged. I was feeling attacked. I am a good person who loves everyone, and for somebody that loves me to come and push me like that made me feel like, don't you see the work I'm doing? How much energy I'm putting into changing people's lives for the better? Doesn't that mean anything? And the answer is, we're powerless over what they see or what they do or what they think, but I'm not powerless over the love that I have. Can I love her enough to let her have whatever her feelings are and have compassion. And she came back and said, never mind, I'm just tired of people telling me that what I think isn't okay. And there was a lot of reflection that I could see of the pain that she was in. And instead of my judging, I stepped more deeply into that place where if we can look at what's happening from a higher perspective and see it truly from the eyes of love, if I truly believe there is one power and one presence in the universe, God, the good, I have to believe that this is part of it. I have to believe that everything that's happening, not only in my personal life, but in the grander scale of the universe and of our country and of the world, there is God in it. Can I feel that there is God in it? Can I look at every single situation, at every single person, I mean every single person, through the eyes of love? And it does not mean that you condone it. It doesn't mean that you like it. It means that you look at it with love. Because if I look at my family, and I got some hard kids. They're still kind of hard. And I'm constantly trying to make it be different. I'm constantly fixing or trying to change it for them. I'm not allowing the experience of what their soul's experience is. And this great web that we're in of our cosmic connection of all of our souls is so much more than we could possibly understand. I would love to see what Charles and Myrtle think now. Can you imagine what they would be into now, what they would be bringing forth now? We are in a time of consciousness change that is unlike any other time in history. You were brought here on purpose to truly enliven this feeling of knowing that God is within you. We are literally here to change and bring light and love to everything, to shine in ways that have never been done before. And it includes this really disruptive place where we are. I've been thinking and reading a lot about the new earth. And I actually went, my younger son, whose name is Bodhi, is a Christian on the Jesus side, which is not easy for me. Because I want him to be spiritual, like me. But he is this beautiful soul, and he actually is very metaphysical. I had Marianne Williamson on my podcast, and she has a new book out, The Mystic Jesus, and Bodhi listened to it and said, yeah, that's exactly what I think. And I was like, okay, good. But when he's in town, we go to one of those big mega churches. And we went one Sunday when he was in town, and it was on Revelations. And he talked about the new earth. And it was beautiful. I was so inspired by this minister, and it gave me such hope because he spoke from it from a metaphysical perspective. It was so great. Little did anybody else know that that's what he was doing. And what he really talked about is that everything in the Bible was written for that time, for those people. And that Revelations was written at that time for those people. It wasn't meant to be something out on the outside. Well, I had just listened to Dolores Cannon talking about the new earth. And I found that he was talking about the new earth in the same way that Dolores Cannon was, if you could look at it just a little bit outside. And this concept that the new earth does not mean that, poof, we're all going to be someplace else. It means that right here, right now, your consciousness is bringing you to the new earth. Which does not mean that other people are not still in another consciousness. And there's no judgment that their way of being is the wrong way. It is their way of being. This changing of consciousness is slow and steady, and it's so much more than what we can possibly understand. So this awareness that we are indeed moving into the new earth means that the discrepancy between the old paradigm and the new paradigm feels more obvious. It's more upfront. And that's generally what happens. Who cleans house where it doesn't get messier before it gets better? Mine gets really messy before it gets better. What if that's all of us? And if we stop resisting, we stop trying to control it, we stop trying to make it be something else, and we choose to see through the eyes of love in every interaction. We choose to have compassion and tenderness of heart when we're bumping up against somebody who thinks and feels differently than we do, which means that you may have boundaries. Am I going to be best friends with my aunt? Probably not. But I'm going to love her. I'm going to send her as much compassion and prayers, because that must be really scary where she is, to respond and react like that out of something that's so simple as a leaf, you know? This change that's happening within each of us right now is so profound, and it's been happening for a while. But the key is to not want to make everybody else be having the same experience. The key is for us to remember that our experience is our number one priority. That how you show up in your own life will radically affect so many people. So one of the things for me that's so interesting is I went to Unity for all those years. I was an alcoholic. I was miserable. I was having a crappy marriage for about 10 years. My kids were rolling off the rails. You know what Unity did for me? It kept my head above water. It made it so I didn't completely drown. And I think sometimes that's what spirituality is it's this ability to recognize that you don't have to be perfect all the time. It doesn't have to be great all the time. That's not the point. The point is to be a human being, and being a human being is very complicated, and it comes in waves, you know? But that keeping my head above water meant that when I was ready to breathe, when I was ready to see, when I was ready to open my eyes and see myself through the eyes of love, everything that I had learned for all those years in the chair at Unity, all those things that I had learned from my mother being a Buddhist, and then I sat in the room of AA and I heard the 12 steps, and guess what? The people that wrote the big book, they were very highly affected by the same people that created Unity. It's all new thought. It's metaphysics. And it was as if all the things that I had learned had fallen into place. Guess what that is? It's the fifth unity principle. It is not enough to know it. You must demonstrate it in your life. But you have to be gathering the information for a while to demonstrate it. And then we forget. So over those last 7 years, I totally took all those things, and I can't even describe what started to happen in my life. My marriage changed. My kids are the same kids, but I love them immensely. And you know what? Our relationship is great. I changed. I became the person that I was looking for all along. I was looking for them to do different. It turned out I needed to be different. And now I feel like I have this capacity to to be able to be in the world where nothing is unacceptable. Even the stuff that hurts, even to have an aunt or to have the things that are being said on social media, to not have a judgment on it that just like where you just want to fight. There's always this invitation to see it through the eyes of love. And to feel the feelings that you feel, because that's really where your work is. That's where your healing comes from. Do I have work to do? Absolutely. Every single day. But I'm so grateful that all those pieces, the 5 unity principles, that God is good, that we are good, that our life is what we think and feel and believe it is, that we have power over that. That's what we get to control. That prayer and meditation are the way to finding that for yourself, and then to demonstrate it. To remind ourselves that we have everything that we need within us, and to give yourself grace when it feels hard. We are moving to the new earth. So let's move into a time of meditation. So I just invite you to close your eyes and start by taking a deep grounding breath with a full release. Moving into your body, into this present moment, right here, right now. You are indeed Christ's nature within. You are indeed held and loved by something even greater still that is always present within you, around you, guiding you, leading you, inviting you to let go of judgment, to let go of fear, to recognize that all of the world, all that we see can be seen through the eyes of love, through the eyes of Christ. Giving ourselves compassion, grace, tenderness. And from that space of inner serenity, that you may extend that out to others, to the people that you know in your life, to those that you don't know, to those that are difficult to love them from this Christ nature, and the recognition that there is wholeness, goodness within all, that our souls are pure. And in this space we can rest. We can rest knowing that we are indeed held, loved, supported, guided. And just breathe into any part of your heart that feels rigid or protected. And feel the love of God surrounding you. And as we move into a moment of silence, I encourage you to feel that wholeness within yourself. That you are safe here. Divine Spirit, thank you for this precious gift of life, for this reminder that we are never alone, that seeing through the eyes of love is the truth of who we are. Thank you for the strength of compassion and grace. May we live by love. May we be love always. And so it is. Namaste.
Alleluia, 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 alleluia. We are one now, we are one now. 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 We are one now.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Beautiful talk, beautiful music. I am filled up today. I hope you are too. So now is our time to support Unity on the Avenue. And there are many ways to do that with checks or cash, or we have the Square. You can do it on your phone to donate. But just know that we truly appreciate everything that everyone donates for our community. There's so many things that we do with that other than our bills. We also help other nonprofits also. So know that it's going to help our greater community as well. So join me in our offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of love. You are my family. You are the face of love.
Robert. Wow, that was so beautiful. So I'd like you to join with me, prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am that light. The love of God enfolds us. I am that love. The power of God protects us. I am that power. The presence of God watches over us. I am that presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
And I shine